Hello everyone, welcome to Crypto Morning Friday, August 30th, 2024. I'm back from Thailand, a bit jet-lagged and tired, but doing well after a month-long vacation. During that month, what we call a vacation, I didn't check my portfolios at all, which is crucial, as I always say, especially in tough times. It's pointless, even more so while on holiday. However, I'm currently working on an update video for the 10k to 30k portfolio, and to be frank, it's been a disastrous month. Looking closer, I hadn't checked altcoins. At best, I was down 15%, at worst up to 40%. It's brutal. I hadn't looked at this level of detail. Still, the strategy remains unchanged. It won't shift. You know it well, many do. My belief is we'll have 12 exceptional months, maybe a tough start in coming weeks. But the trend, my personal conviction, hasn't changed, especially with the recent drop. My strong belief is you'll see the portfolio I'll show you take a huge hit, but at these levels, not those from 2-3 months ago. I think quite easily portfolios can 10x today. We'll look at that, which is most important. We're taking a big hit, but when tokens have lost 75%, it obviously becomes much easier to make 10x gains. Even great projects worth 1 billion not long ago are now worth 150 million. So I think there are opportunities monstrous. We're going to have to stay solid, and in any case, that's going to be the dynamic of this new season in relation to this channel. Little by little, I'm restarting the machine, the special files, the flashes and all that. In terms of the main macroeconomic statistics, it's important to follow this. There's been a revision of the GDP, so this is good news for the American economy. Almost, we would have preferred to have had bad statistics. Why? So that the Fed would act all the more, because the Fed has said the first step, the first indicator, inflation is around 2%. It is ultra confident that we are going in this direction, and that now it will particularly focus on unemployment, which we are going to see, and on growth, avoid impacting growth too much. Now it realizes, despite the rate increases, the American economy is demonstrating enormous robustness. Then we had good unemployment statistics, and now it will focus on unemployment. The Fed reports a drop in jobless claims. 231,000 versus 233,000 last week, and 232,000 expected by consensus. So it's better than expected. Good news for the US economy. Oddly, it's not great for interest rates. If unemployment had instead spiked this month, that would be better, as it might mean the Fed could cut by 0.5 points instead of 0.25. So they might start slowly with the 0.25 cut in September and then follow the data as they've said they would. There's been great economic data in the US, ironically less favorable for larger rate cuts. CAC 40 is up 0.84%, Dow Jones up 0.59%, and Nasdaq dips a bit due to Nvidia, as you know. There's some disappointment, but I won't talk about Nvidia's stock price, rather their results. Nvidia's results are exceptional, but again, what matters are market expectations, which were completely unrealistic. People were expecting astronomical results, with triple-digit margin increases and such. The results were very impressive, but the market expected even better, so the market is down. It's very demanding of Nvidia, but this is mainly an opportunity to take profits. We'll revisit this, but if Nvidia drops below $100, there might be an opportunity given their exceptional overall momentum. Calendar-wise, there are some US stats, but more importantly, big European data, because for Europe too, we need to watch prices for the ECB to lower rates. Rates, unemployment, and consumer prices are rising fast, especially in Europe, particularly in France. Elon Musk's Dogecoin hype was huge for a while. He kept tweeting, changed his profile pic to the Dogecoin logo, and all that. This led to lawsuits, which he won. Good news for him, but his influence is waning. We all saw it was crazy, but it's becoming less effective over time. Now his Doge tweets only boost at 2% versus 40% 2 years ago. Importantly, Telegram's founder has been released, but he's confined to France, can't leave the country, paid a €5 million bail. He's free, but must remain on French soil for now. We'll keep following this story. Moscow and Putin warned France to handle it properly. We'll keep watching. Also look into Toncoin specifically. For me, this is always bad news. When Solana stopped for hours, we all criticized it harshly. Toncoin is the same for me. Toncoin has a problem, though they've never had such enthusiasm before. It seems to be related to Doge, the new token. Many people went to mint Doge. You know, when it launches, you mint it cheaply. The token went completely offline, which is always bad news. It makes me reconsider Toncoin's tech. I should review how it works on Nego Tech, because we inevitably question its decentralization. So there's this crazy hype around Toncoin right now, and I'm talking about it a lot because it's blowing up, plus Telegram hit 1 billion users and all that. but we shouldn't downplay these issues. I'll be following this very closely, of course, and I think I'll dive back into Toncoin's tech because this isn't normal. A blockchain stopping, as I often say, Bitcoin has never stopped in its entire history. 2 stops in a row, no matter what, is bad news to me. It raises serious questions about Toncoin's decentralization. We'll keep an eye on this, obviously. It hit the price, but it held up pretty well. Then there's this crazy thing with the SEC, about a year ago. Remember, a bit over a year before the Bitcoin ETF, the SEC was on a roll. Everything was securities except Bitcoin, but now they're boldly attacking OpenSea. I can't even understand how they can go after OpenSea. OpenSea doesn't even have a token. And it's kind of like the Telegram Toncoin situation. Bad news never comes alone. OpenSea has been losing momentum in recent years, which means that in 2023 to 2024, OpenSea might not be the leader anymore, even if they still hold a crucial position. Because they historically have all the big NFT collections. There are tons of competitors right now. Blur and others are blowing up, so they were already on a downward trend, and now they're getting finished off by the SEC. And it's just incomprehensible because there are other OpenSea competitors who have tokens, so that's debatable. But here there's no token, it's just a marketplace. So basically it's just OpenSea, the company. It's a marketplace for trading NFTs, which is very confusing. And we're wondering about the SEC with elections coming up soon. The SEC, Gensler, he might only have 2 months left at the SEC. Honestly, I don't get it. I'll look into it more. It's baffling. Now, here's a bit of good news. Let's try to be positive. ETFs for Ethereum are a disaster. There's not enough info. And of course, Grayscale is selling. After Grayscale, it drops. I checked. They don't even have 5 billion in Ethereum. So honestly, 5 billion, we'll talk about the outflows, but already after a week, it's starting to decline. Maybe it'll pick up again because maybe it's so low they're waiting. It's Grayscale's clients leaving Grayscale for other ETFs, BlackRock in particular. Well, they're like everyone else. ETF Ethereum has dropped significantly. At first, they didn't question it because these people may have been in for 5 years and now it's dipping, but might explode again soon. But most importantly, we have BlackRock. They're really the golden boy of ETFs, who's still buying quite a bit. They've already bought 1 billion worth. And we see they've sold Grayscale for 2.5 billion. It's going to move quickly. They don't even have 5 billion left. So I'd say it's just temporary. And once again, we'll discuss this a lot this fall. Personally, I think Ethereum has potential. Next, Ilionet Partners. This interests me. They're launching the first proof of AI. What exactly does that mean? I'll look into it more closely. If it's something truly impressive, I'll do a special report on it, but I'll take my time to review it. But mainly, it could lead to something. I hope it's not just a marketing term. It's all marketing, but IOPONET could be interesting. It's an intriguing project dealing with decentralized AI and such. And it's quite different from vendors. They'll work with multiple pools and all. It's like a GPU consolidator. So it could be a token. As you know, I have a tiny bit. I put in about $100, something like that. And I think it could be promising. Polygonatic's interesting. There was a spike in on-chain activity. We'll keep an eye on that. But mainly we'll watch in a few days. There's the migration. I'll give you details on different platforms. They're on Kraken. I got a message from Kraken. It's a bit unclear. They say at first there's nothing to do. But we might need to take action later. My recommendation anyway is what I'm going to do. I'll send them to Binance because Binance will handle it. So that's interesting. I'm still 100% confident in this project, even during tough times. Polygon Matic has dropped. Let's check its level from 2022 to 2023. The token fell because Binance will stop Polygon's Matic transactions. People might think Binance ditched Polygon Matic, but that's not true. On the contrary, they're going to manage everything. What's great about Binance is that they'll handle the token migration, so you won't have to do anything. Just like with Fetch, we didn't have to do anything. It'll be the same, but they warn about potential scams if you send them to Binance. They're smart too. It's a way of saying just use Binance, because on other platforms you might have to do some extra steps. You'll need to connect to a URL, and whenever you're asked to do that, hundreds of people try to send fake URLs. It looks like the official site, but you're sending funds to a scammer's unknown address, so be very careful. Personally, I like that they send to Binance to avoid hassle. This is interesting. It's Coinbase. We often talk about Binance listings, but Canbase is crucial too. Simply due to its large American user base, it'll bring various products, especially futures on BundleBit. A token I like, Conflux, a token I really love, which has dropped significantly recently. An NEO, which is interesting because it's quite a challenging project. We'll see if it brings momentum, particularly for BundleBit and Conflux. I hope you weren't fooled, but there was this crazy incident with an account. Mbappe's Twitter was hacked all night on the 27th or 28th, I'm not sure. It was insane because they created a fake Mbappe token. Some crafty people thought it was a golden opportunity. Imagine someone made a wallet and spent 7,000 SOL, about $1 million, to buy the same coin. He thought this million would make him a billionaire, so he bought it, and now it's only worth 9,000 euros. He lost in an hour. Look, a huge pop-up appeared, and it's crazy because he also sent emails about football with Ronaldo, so these guys had fun. They scammed, and at the same time they sent little... I don't know if you've heard about Ronaldo and Messi, so another huge scam. Always be very careful, and the worst is that we're in a tricky phase. There are some scams. When euphoria hits, scammers know very well when everyone's euphoric and everything's booming, it's easier to scam people. So we'll need to be very careful when discussing this with Rialto. As for the map, it's not great, not beautiful at all, but it's not quite, it's mixed, you know, a kind of, but it's nothing serious. Wow, it's really scary. Look, we'll see it quickly. Bitcoin is down 10%, but look, it was at 23 earlier. BNB is holding up well, down 7%, better than Bitcoin. Down 21%, 10%. We'll do a full monthly review this weekend with detailed analysis on many tokens. As you go down, you see drops of 35%, 40%. In the Rialto portfolio, I think it's down about 25% overall, and now it's starting to... Volumes are decent, especially for Bitcoin. We're under 60,000. Ethereum at 2005 is steady. Not much to say about Bitcoin. We're still in this evil range. I think the outcome will be huge, even if I said we might see this until July, August, September. It'll be self-fulfilling as everyone's freaking out. Now that we've seen it twice, it's not impossible, and it would make sense. For me, it could be the start of a bull market, which would be really great. Otherwise, not much to say. What I like is that the convergence of moving averages is starting to happen more and more. If you find the 3 moving averages becoming 1, like the 100 and 200 moving averages do, it simply means we're in a real accumulation phase. And whether you've been DCAing for 3 months, 6 months, or a year, roughly speaking, you've paid about $60,000 for Bitcoin. These are usually big accumulation phases, and at some point the scene might change. I still believe we'll go up eventually. As for Ethereum, it's not looking good. It's really not pretty. Even if we hit 2100, we fell to 2004. Are we making higher lows? We need to watch this trend. It's not a reversal pattern. I don't like this overall trend. When we fall and form this pattern, it could be a bear flag. But did we already form and complete a bear flag here? And are we forming another small one? Hard to say short term. We'll closely follow Polygon Matic. It was on a good upward trend. Again, people thought it's taking off. I think some started to jump in and buy, and then saying, there's Paul, boom, a big drop. Can't call it broken legs, it might be temporary, but we'll keep an eye on what happens. We're at a critical level here, 0.37 on Matic. How much lower it'll go, I'm not sure, but we're really at very low levels for the token. The token is completely neglected here, we're just looking since March, down 67%. And remember, Paul, it's the Polygon Matic token migration today, and another blockchain called ZKVVM, which will add real value to the project. What's incredible is people seem to forget Polygon Matic invested at least 1 billion in ZKVVM, but I think it's actually several billion. So they're adding a blockchain they've invested billions in. The token is down 70%. It's either the end of the project or a massive opportunity, I think. Next, I'm closely watching token, and I'll give you my target zone. Here, I thought the 1,200 level would hold. You've noticed it needs to hold. If it holds, it'll be frustrating if it rises, but it's not rising now. Plus, it breaks 1,200, hits it, and falls back. So at this point, I'd say we need to be patient. Personally, I'm almost certain I'll buy token soon. If it breaks 5, why not wick to 4? 6 like before. I think a first wick here would be good. Our coin is still holding, even if barely. Look at this zone of about 1 cent. It seems to be holding. But again, drop range. For me, it's a red flag. We'll go lower. If we go lower, it'll crash in this zone we discussed. Will we reach that zone? I don't know, but it's possible. It was the first time I started buying them. I shared it with you guys. It exploded, then crashed. Signs of a reversal around 0.005. If it drops to that level again, it's an exceptional opportunity to buy more. Be ready. We might see a surge. If there's a third surge on September 5th, it'll do that, and I'd give it a 5. 2 small tokens seem to be quietly forming patterns. When it falls like this, you wonder when it'll turn around. We need classic reversal patterns, Ws, maybe head and shoulders. Those are even more reliable. Is KDA forming one? Since July 5th it went a bit lower, but it's been holding steady. It seems to be holding at 0.40. What I like is it might be forming a shoulder head shoulder. Maybe it fell on September 5th, forming a shoulder. We're seeing a 3-stage balancing phase. I think KDA is starting a phase, a kind of reversal pattern. I also found Cielo, which is even further along. Oh no, that's what was happening at the start. It's similar here, shoulder head, and maybe we're in a zone for the last shoulder. These two tokens are starting to bottom out, which is generally positive. They're tokens nobody talks about, but I like KDNA, and Cielo is a project I really love. We were talking about tokens that lost value and did this in March. What's she doing at 12 years old? Wow, 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 wow. Unbelievable. Down 80%. You really need to stop. But when you're down 80%, a 5x just brings you back to recent highs. These tokens will easily 10x. That's almost a given for this project. So regarding Cielo, I think I've told you everything I needed to say. I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to show your support, like and subscribe if you enjoy this content. September's going to be intense. We're coming back strong, well rested. Hope you are too. It's crucial now. The next year might be challenging, but in a good way, I think. We'll need to sell our gains quickly. It's going to be positive. Anyway, have a great Friday and weekend. See you soon. Ciao.